Good morning. My name is Eileen McLaurin. I am Dorena and Ralph Morris's fifth child, and I will be reading Psalms 23. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadow
Thinking of you and your family, praying your hearts find reassurance that heaven understands even when we can't. For our deepest sorrows, God gives his greatest comfort. With caring sympathy, Miss Ann Watts and family. 2 Corinthians 1:7. God will tenderly comfort you. He will give you the strength to endure. May God be close to you now for strength and comfort, and may his peace overflow in the days to come. With deepest sympathy, love, Reverend Shirley Saunders. Remembering with you, when the heart is grieving, God comes near to bring his comfort to catch every tear. May God hold you close, comfort you gently, and carry you through. In prayer and sympathy, in Christian love, Sister Alice Dansby. Thinking of you and your family, may your hearts feel the tender nearness of God, the caring love of friends, and the cherished comfort of memories. With heartfelt sympathy and prayers, the brothers of New Upsilon chapter of Omega Psi Phi. In sympathy, may it help to know that others are thinking of you and wishing you comfort. We are so sorry for your loss. The Sunshine Club at Thomas Edison Charter School. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Dawn Grabowski, the first grandchild of Ralph and Dorena. Today I will be doing the obituary reading. Dorena Burton Morris, daughter of the late Uri P. and Rosetta Hall Burton, was born November 10, 1930 in Wilmington, Delaware. On October 31st, 2024, while surrounded by family and loved ones, the Lord closed her eyes for the last time. Dorena found the Lord early in life and shared how her Pentecostal parents provided a strict religious foundation where Sundays were held sacred. Dorena was proud of her Nanticoke heritage and a member of Bethel AME Church. She was educated through the Catholic schools of the Diocese of Wilmington. After graduating from high school, she married the love of her life, Ralph Morris. From this union, 7 children were born. They also had a special bond with firstborn grandson Malik, often thought of as their 4th son. Dorena and Ralph also opened their arms, giving love and a home to Andy Hines and other foster children as well. Dorena was a dedicated caregiver, known for her unwavering commitment to assisting anyone in need. She selflessly nursed her brother Uri through his battle with cancer and cared for her father during his final illness. Dorena's compassion extended to caring for other older family members as well, exhibiting her incredible strength and kindness. For fun and relaxation, she hung out with her sisters, taking long drives, playing penny slots at Dover Downs, and finding the best places for crabs. She had lots of stories about hanging out with her trumpet-playing husband and his musician friends. They traveled together to jazz concerts and even walked with other protesters to protest civil unrest. Dorena was an avid reader and always signed her name inside the cover after finishing a book. She often joked about starting a book only to realize she had already read it. She also possessed a youthful spirit and never considered herself old. With her lighthearted and caring nature, she was still dancing at 93 and an active volunteer for many years at the Antonio Dining Hall. Dorena was preceded in death by her siblings Uri, Francis, Benjamin, and Viola, her husband Ralph, and granddaughter Kimwana. She leaves to cherish her memory her children Vaughn, Churl, husband Wayne, Amanda, husband Daryl, Yvette, husband Jim, Eileen, husband Eric, Ralph, Ray, wife Zaritu, 30 grandchildren, 60 great-grandchildren, 39 great-great-grandchildren, and a host of nieces and nephews.
Hello, I am great-great-grandson Ezekiel. Hi, my name is Adalia Dorena Cook, and I am a great-grandchild. I remember the first time meeting Mama. I was either a baby, 1, or an infant. I can She was sitting down watching TV. She was sitting there watching TV, and she saw me and said, "Hey, little bit, she has a whole lot of pictures on our wall. I think we have the biggest family known to mankind. Look at everybody here."
My favorite memory is my mom. Well, no. My favorite memory with my mom is my cousin Nene was over and we were doing a TikTok together. And then my mom got up from the living room and she went in the kitchen and she started dancing with us. And it was
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Great. So if anyone has had a conversation with my mom, you know she can talk. Okay? She gave me the gift of gab, but I'm going to keep it short today. My mom's word was like gold to me. She always knew what was going on in the family and always said exactly what was on her mind, even if it was hard to hear. And I give her props because her advice hasn't led me astray yet. Amen. And once she saw the fruit of her labor, Mama would stop the road to grab her family. A few weeks ago, Mama woke up from a nap, looked at me, and immediately went to tell the nurse that I'm a social worker. Her daughter is a nurse, and the family is full of educators and musicians. I might be wrong, but I think that was mostly maternal pride and a little bit of, we not stupid over here, so don't try it. I'm extremely grateful for the time I got to spend with my mom. One thing I could always look forward to when visiting her was a good story and a piece of candy from her candy dish. My favorite story told by her was when she had an altercation with another woman at the senior center. When she started telling me the story, I was admittedly half listening. I'm not sure which word perked up my ears, but all I know is I was locked in once I realized there was some drama. Long story short, we all agreed that that lady was lucky people were holding my mom back. And let me remind you, she had to be at least 85 years old at the time. That was the first day I realized that firing women in our family got it from the original Dorena Burton. Amen. Her legacy has reached far and wide and will continue to live in us all. I hope to make an impact as substantial as hers.
And will.
Children, I don't know if y'all know, but my mom is a little dramatic to go on Halloween. Also, it was my 10th anniversary, so not overshadowing anybody or upstating anybody. I'm an actor, I'm going to perform. So I have two little pieces, one from Dorena Morris, a great grandchild who couldn't be here, and then a little vocal exercise that we do, which I doubled as my wedding vows. First is from Dorena. When my time is up on earth, I will go prepare a place for the ones who love me as my ancestors have done for me. My death will be a celebration of life that I've lived. Grief can be felt like a stone in your chest that becomes a boulder in your stomach and weighs down on your soul. I want you to tell stories of how we fused and fought. I know it may hurt to remember, but those are memories, and memories are a powerful thing. I will be at peace. I have died well because I have lived well, because I have lived it with you. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, Darrell.
And for my little piece, it's just something that I said that I believe, and now I'm going to give it to you because I think it's something that you can use anywhere. Whether the weather be cold, whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whenever the weather, whether we like it or not. Whether we know what we are, whether we know what we're not. I'll love you forever and ever and ever. This I'm sure what I want. Thank you.
Greetings. Eben Morris here, grandson of Dorena Morris. Grandmom was so special to all of us, I'm sure. Me particular, there was one situation that I will always hold near and dear to my heart. I was away in college, and y'all know how grandmom is. When you call her, she gonna rush you off that phone. So I called grandmom and just checking on her at first, but she could hear something in my voice, and she knew something wasn't right. So just so happened I was pledging Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and she asked me what was going on. I told her I was just going through some things, pledging the fraternity, and she really didn't know what that meant, but I told her some of the things that we had to do was learn information. I was having a problem learning this particular poem. The poem is called Invictus, and out of night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole. I think whatever guides me be for my unconquerable soul. In a fell cleft of circumstance, I've not once to crown aloud. Under the bloody nail of chance, my head's bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms but the hoarded shade, and yet to meet us in the year, find and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, or how charged with punishment to scroll. I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. Now, it took me probably 2 weeks to learn that poem. I was fumbling and twisting and turning with it, just couldn't get it. I called grandmama on that particular day, and she stayed on the phone with me. Usually, like I said, she rushed you off the phone, but she stayed on the phone and she had me repeat that poem over and over until I got it. And I will always remember that conversation that we had. Even after, I had crossed over, and she would say, well, how's your little group going? I'm like, Mom, little group? This fraternity's big. We got people like Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal and, famous, very famous people, and doctors, lawyers, all the such type people. But she'd be like, yeah, that's fine, yeah. Like, she didn't care, as long as her grandson was good. So I'll always remember that moment that her and I had on the phone. My girl, always, my grandma, who had my back in the time of need, no matter what. Love you, Mom, always.
This is David Cooper, Cheryl Cooper's son, the oldest of her sons. I've been asked to give a reflection on my mom. In order to give a reflection, there has to be an original image. In Genesis 1, chapter 7, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. That is the original image, which my mom reflected. She did because she bore the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And my mom's character definitely embodied all of these things. The thing about a reflection is that original image has to be present in order to be reflected. It has to be present in order to be reflected. Her presence has to be there. The presence of God has to be there. And the thing that I want everyone to know and to recognize and realize is that she is still present because her character is reflected in her children and her grandchildren. She's present. God's character is present in her. And now she's in his presence, basking in his glory. And one day we will be present with her again. Some stars shine so bright, long after they're gone, we still see their light. You all be blessed.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I am Tanya, one of Dorena's many grandchildren. As a child, I didn't quite understand my mom and her ways. I didn't understand why she did this or why she said that. She would have us, Kimwana and I, wash our face, brush our teeth, comb our hair or brush it down before we could come downstairs and eat breakfast. And to us, that was just a whole lot of work, just to eat breakfast. And then your cereal tasted like mint, so just didn't know why. Sometimes my mom would turn the corners of her mouth down and she would cock her head to the side and she'd say, y'all stop that snickering. And when she said that would send Kimwana and I into a tizzy of infectious, belly shaking, knees slapping, silent laughter in the corner. So, mom said those words, we just lost it. So I'm sure we got on her last nerves, but she loved us nonetheless. Well, adulthood has answered all my why questions. Now, if I follow through with my mom's weekend morning routine, I'll always be prepared for unexpected guests. Currently, I work as a librarian at a charter school, and I'm around snickering children all day long. So I can't be mad at the children for snickering because it just reminds me of my mom and my cousin Kimwana. Everyone knows that mom's a talker, and she loves to tell stories. So I feel honored to have spent a lot of time with her as a child and as an adult. And I will forever cherish her stories that were based in family history. I love her so much. And to my cousin's children, I challenge you to contact your grandparents, spend time with them, call them, write them, send them an email. You might not understand them now, but you will learn a lot from them. And they love you, I love you, and thank you very much. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm the first daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Today, in honor of our mother, I share a fragment of memory that takes us back 69 years and yet remains an important life lesson. These fragments form the lasting image of our mother's resourcefulness and determination, always grounded in her faith. I was about to enter kindergarten at Elbert Elementary School, conveniently located right across the street from our school. I remember standing next to the school dumpster while my mother was inside it. I have no recollection of leaving my house and crossing Buttonwood Street to get to the school property, nor any memory of my mother climbing into that dumpster. I do remember it was the end of the school year, and as I played on the playground, I did see teachers coming and going and throwing stuff in the dumpster, but I didn't know what was going on. This fragment of memory is about my mother disappearing and then reappearing to hand me something. First, half a yellow crayon. You know, the real thick ones that we did in kindergarten. She continued this process, handing me crayons and then exchanging the smaller ones for the larger ones. I watched as my mother worked tirelessly until she found every color and even a box with a top. That's it for that memory. However, as time went on, this fragment took wings and painted itself into fruition until I could see the whole story. My mother built me a school starting with one yellow crayon. I had my own school in Southbridge projects with pencils, used crayons, mimeograph worksheets, and books like Down the River Road, The Wishing Well, and Dick and Jane. My mother even found me a dictionary with a yellow hardback cover. Wow. That dumpster fragment of memory formed a lasting image of how our mother diligently searched for treasures to make something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. She was guided by her faith and always trusted in God. She would collect snow in a pot, add a few ingredients, and voila, we had the best ice cream. I remember going to Goodwill with my mother. Now, I'll go ahead and confess that I looked left and right, so I wasn't humiliated being seen by my friends. But today, my sister and I are Goodwill shopping fools. I can remember I was probably in middle school when we pushed a $5 vintage sewing machine home. That machine served us well for years. When the heat went out in the house, my mother placed her good coat over me. It was the heaviest coat I had ever felt, with fur around the collar and around the sleeves. And it smelled like Mom when Daddy was taking her someplace special. I remember taking the sleeves and putting up to my ears, making ear muffs. How I wish the electricity was out more often because that heavy coat gave me deep dreams. Our mother made good things happen in less than optimal times, always reminding us to have faith in God's plan. Thanks to my mother's ingenuity, I entered kindergarten reading Down the River Road. And if any of you know 1950 public school literature, you know Down the River Road is a higher level than Dick and Jane. My point is this. My mother's ingenuity gave me a huge edge. She also taught me the fruits of the Spirit, starting with patience. This lesson began after a note went home from my teacher indicating my impatience while other students were reading. In my defense, every student had to start with the Dick and Jane book. Now, when it was Harold's turn to read, he struggled with the three-word sentence, see the squirrel. Harold said, see. I waited for him to get to the next word, but he never did, so I helped him out. I said, see the. Harold hesitated again. By now, my 6-year-old nerves were frayed. I couldn't take it any longer. I blurted out, squirrel, it's a squirrel. It's a picture of a squirrel. See the squirrel. Our mother was consistent. When she said something, she meant it, and there was always follow through. So when she got down to my eye level and sat through gritted teeth, little lady, you are not the teacher's assistant. Open your mouth one more time and see what happens. I already knew what was going to happen because I've been in that position before. Our mother was courageous. She lived in the shadows, seldom went out the house, never stayed on the phone chit-chatting with girlfriends. When I heard my mother was queen in a Bethel program, I hardly believed my eyes. That was Mom 2.0. This courageousness rooted in her faith can be seen in my siblings. We are world travelers.
You got it.
We are world travelers, living and working in other countries. We are entrepreneurs, artists, publishers, a nurse, and a sibling who became a law enforcement officer working the vice squad. And then there's me. I advanced to semifinals in a world speaking competition. My mother's interpretation, she created the best speaker in the world. My siblings and I each share our own unique and similar experiences with our mother. She always advocated for her children, drawing on the strength of her faith and the values she instilled in us. Through her nurturing, she taught us, each and every one of us, that our glass was already filled. Thank you.
Yeah.